What's going on YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the channel. Your boy Devin Coates. 48 days with the 48 laws. This is day 39. We're getting close. I'm going to have this all done by Christmas, and I'm going to be on a whole new posting schedule. So just wanted to get all this done by the end of the new year. That's why I'm kind of pounding these all together. But Law 39, stir up waters to catch fish. Anger and emotion are strategically counterproductive. You must always stay calm and objective, but if you can make your enemies angry while staying calm yourself, you gain a decided advantage. Put your enemies off balance, find a chink in their vanity through which you can rattle them, and you hold the strings. So the two examples, they're pretty basic. The first one was about Napoleon, and basically while he's at war, he finds out Talleyrand, one of my favorite characters throughout the book, is leading a conspiracy against him. And he finds out from one of his advisors, and he comes back, and he basically just blows up on Talleyrand about how ungrateful he is, how much of a piece of shit. He calls him, he's no more than the shit within a silk or something like that, some kind of weird. But he blows up on him in front of everybody, and Talleyrand stays really calm. And then what this basically leads to is a bad impression and reputation of Napoleon, and it kind of was like the mark of the end of his demise, because especially the contrast between how calm Talleyrand was about everything and how much he blew up, it made him look really bad. The second one was about Selassie. I like him too. He's from Ethiopia, and basically he felt that his stepdaughter and her husband were going to try to overthrow him, and basically he knew he needed to kind of get rid of them. So what he does is he appoints his stepdaughter's husband. I think his name started with a G or something, like Gallus or something. Gugsa. He tells Gugsa to man this province that's a little bit far from the capital. So he separates the two, his stepdaughter and her husband, with literal distance. And then after a few months, he tells Gugsa to attack a rebellion that Gugsa personally doesn't have any problem with, and Gugsa also planning a rebellion against Selassie, so he doesn't want to fight them. And Selassie did this because he knew he didn't have a problem with that rebellion, and he wanted to basically anger him and stir up the waters with him early. He didn't want him to be able to plan all the way for his rebellion. He wanted to spark the rebellion right away, and just not to get into all of the literal intricacies of the fight, basically gets him to start a rebellion a little bit early, and so he already planned everything out, and he set up a way of bribing the guy's troops, making connections with those allies so that they didn't show up for the fight. So Gugsa gathered about 35,000 strong, and more than half of it was cut out the way through all the planning that Selassie did, because he already knew he was going to provoke him into battle. And basically he had a very small army, and then he dies in battle, and then his wife, Selassie's stepdaughter, actually dies because she's so distraught that her husband died. So I just wanted to glaze through those stories because they're not that important. But basically the whole premise is that you want to do things kind of like, a lot of times you want to do things on your time, and you want to get people to move when they're not ready. I know I talk about wrestling a lot, but that was the sport that I was the most into. And in wrestling, that was like a big ploy. It wasn't something you exactly talked about, but things like hand fighting. So when you're wrestling, you're in a stance and you're trying to shoot and you're trying to set up your shot. A big thing that you'll do is, like, you might put your hand on their head and kind of like stiff on them a little. They'll get mad at, like, the refs will penalize you if you hit them too hard, or if you hit them like here, but you might push them in the head. You might hit their head and snap them down and bang them down, and it's annoying, and it gets people to it gets people shaken up. Because you're literally physically moving them around and pushing them in here, and then it makes them try to gain their step, and then they feel like they have to do something back at you, and then when they reach, you duck, boom, quick takedown. Or if somebody takes a shot on you, you might throw a crossface, and right in this part of your nose, put your forearm and just crank it up. Now, it might be a position that nothing can happen, like you can't really get out of it, but while you're trying to get it out and you're making it look like you're trying to get out, you hitting them in the head, and you're kind of getting under their skin. Or if you're on top, you're pushing their head and their face, trying to get their nose like into the mat, and you're just trying to when you're doing your cradle, you're driving your head into their side. When you're doing your crossface cradle, you're driving your knee into their side. Or if you're doing a tight waist and ankle and you're on top, you're driving your knee in their butt. But the whole idea is that you are trying to break them down, but you're also trying to get them to kind of open up a little bit, because the worst thing that you want when you're wrestling somebody is like clamming up. You're not really allowed to do that. It's called stalling. You're not really trying to improve anything, but a lot of times you want to get somebody out of their stance. You want to get somebody to make a move when they're not ready, so you can capitalize on it. And I know two matches actually, both times in the district finals, which were pretty big tournaments for wrestling, I actually lost those matches because something like that happened. Somebody banged my head, I stood straight up, scooped me up, took me down in overtime. I lost. Another time, I lost to this guy years. I've been losing to him for years. There was a really bad call, and he didn't really do it to me. It was kind of the refs. There was a really bad call. I took him down and put him on his back. I should have got 4 points for that, and I would have won the match. Well, I at least should have got 2 points for the takedown, but I didn't get anything, so I was pissed. And then I got in on another shot and just completely rush of anger, did a sloppy ass shot. He countered it, threw me to my back. He got 4 points, and then I lose the match because there's only like 30 seconds left. So stirring up the waters, you're trying to get somebody to make a move when they're not ready. And everybody has that chink in their armor where you can get under their skin. You see boxers do it. Conor McGregor always doing it. I mean, look at that Eddie Alvarez fight. He had him fight a fight that was not the fight. Eddie Alvarez is a wrestler. That whole fight should have been on the ground. Eddie Alvarez tried to box him, got hit with a left a bunch of times, got dropped a bunch of times. And that's what happens when you stir up the waters to get people to move when they're not ready. The only reversal was that you kind of got to worry about who you're dealing with. Some people, I mean, you just don't want to like kind of mess with them in terms of you don't know how they're going to retaliate on you. Like, I know he told a story about like Alexander the Great and the country of Tyr. Basically, they played a little too much, and Alexander was going to give up on their conquest, and then he decided, fuck that. You guys just disrespected me. Coming all the way, and I'm going to destroy your city. He burned the whole city to the ground, sold all their people as slaves. So that's the end of this one. Thanks for tuning in. This series will be done by the end of tomorrow. I'm committed to that. And then you'll see a new posting schedule for me because I'm kind of getting tired of this 48 days. Like, comment, subscribe. Your boy Devin Coates. Link in the description where you can pick up your copy. Till next time, peace.